Hey, how are you? Good Monday evening to you. How is everyone? It is good to see you, and it is good to be seen by you. And the person doing the seeing is, of course, me, Bill Sylvie, aka the Dungeon Delver. Welcome to our little corner of the internet. And I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're watching, and I'm glad you're hanging around with us. Jack Von Luther, Damien, Father. Oh, I think I got everybody. Everybody that's out there hanging out right now. But anyway, Michael Dale, glad you're having a good one. We have like the never stopping Katamari of fun. We have rolled up some more subs here, some more subscribers on the channel. Hi, welcome to the show. I'm glad you're here. We are at 5,120 subscribers on the channel. My goodness, 5,120. That is quite the jump from around 1,200 a year ago, isn't it? Isn't it? But we have we have really grown. This channel has grown so much since this time last year. It has really boomed. I'm so happy with it. So if you, that's me, Robert Phillips. So if you haven't already clicked the subscribe button, please do click the bell icon for notifications too, and you can find out all about the shows, the episodes as we have them. Now, you might not be able to notice it. It's a very subtle thing, but if you look around the room, I think you're going to see that that new polarization filter is installed, and things are a lot less blacked out than they were. I mean, the neon sign up here, I could take that down a couple of notches because I think that's at just about full, and it's still going to look great. Excuse me there, All Might. It's still going to look great. We can bring that down. See, that still looks good. So, yeah, the polarization filter is awesome. And that's because of you guys. Thank you so much for your super chats, for your Patreon, for your memberships. Bob Gnarly, I love you too, man. Good to see you. Derek Mann. He's Derek Mann. George Laconia. Laacona, excuse me. Laacona. Did I get that right? Which is the better? But anyhow, now it's a great add-on feature. And the place where you can't see it the most, if you will, is look up here at the Space Hulk box. You can see the Space Hulk box. If I didn't have the if I didn't have the polarizing filter on the camera, right now you would see like a big bright spot in the middle of the Space Hulk box. Despite the fact that it is jet black, it would be completely blown out with an on-screen reflection. And that's what the polarizing filter catches, is it takes it's still bright, but it's not blown out. It's not a new cam, although I really wish I would love to treat myself in 2024 to a secondary DSLR to use for other shots in the studio, like a table and everything. But DSLRs are either garbage tier, like cheap mobile phone tier sensor chips, or they're like $1,700 Nikons. But somebody the other night mentioned one that was, they're like, yeah, this is $149. I've been using it. I get great 4K out of it, and it works as a webcam too. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I don't remember now. I don't remember it. I am using, this is a Panasonic Lumix G7K, which is apparently, depending on who you talk to, is like it's a fine entry-level camera, or it's the best thing since sliced bread. The new filter makes me look 10 minutes younger. Well, if I stack 10 of them, but yeah, no, I wish I could get that info, whoever dropped that info in the live stream. But anyway, what we have now is great. It's awesome. But regardless of how you're watching us, whether you're watching us a little postage stamp size on your mobile phone, you've got us on in the background. Some of you guys, some of you crazy people, put me up on your TV to watch, which is just nuts. But regardless of how you do it, just know that the video you're watching is brought to you by our friends at Hellebarde Games. Hellebarde makes the kind of adventures that they'd like to play, whether it's for Castles and Crusades, for 5th edition, or for the OSR. Old School is in play at the table with Hellebarde, and you can find them at DriveThruRPG or on their website, hellebardegames.com. You got me on an 88-inch LG. That's awesome, Bob. Welcome to having sometimes you remember and some. Yeah, Mark, that's about it. Mill at 10 feet on the projector. Oh, let me get my. Do I have? What is it? Today we celebrate the first anniversary of the Information Purification Directives. Our unification of thought is more powerful a weapon than any fleet or army on Earth. We are one people with one will, one resolve, one cause. Our enemies shall talk themselves to death, and we will bury them in their own confusion. We shall prevail. That's the Macintosh commercial there. Bill Sylvie on the holodeck. You can pay exorbitant amounts of money to YouTube and get like 8K out of them for videos. It's very rare. I think they did last year. Was it last year, last summer, summer before last? I think they did Led Zeppelin's "How the West Was Won." Their like 7-show mini concert at the O2 Arena or something like that, or 7 songs, something like that. But they did How the West Was Won, and they pumped it out in 8K. But anyhow, so talking about cameras, talking about the filter, you guys helped with the filter. Yes, the video feed does have to be shot, or however the source comes in, it has to be in 8K. Now, this is a 4K camera, and I was hyped about that because I was like, miniatures are going to look good, packages are going to look good, miniatures are going to look good. But then I found out that because I started streaming on Facebook, and Facebook only took 720p. So when I got over on YouTube, I was like, haha, YouTube only does 1080. So, hey, Tonka Todd, how are you? But, so 1080p is the best you guys get me in. Yeah, this is in 1080p. I pay StreamYard, who's handling all the graphics down there, and when I have guests and when we do game streams and stuff like that, I use StreamYard, which is very convenient. StreamYard is awesome. I would imagine there's going to come a point in the next 3 to 5 years when just everybody's got like, 10 gig, 100 gig, 300 gig, whatever. The services like StreamYard and YouTube will start accepting 4K streams. But it also takes... Wave of Mutilation says, I'm starting late and listening at high speed. It also takes a monster PC to process 4K input and pump it back up stream. StreamYard is not terribly expensive. You can get like their 1080 package that I use. I think I got in at like $29.99 a month. It may be more now, but I'm grandfathered in from whatever I got. That'll teach wave and mutilation. Now, let me tell you guys something. I am a firm believer around the holidays to keep yourself. Yes, Mark, that's correct. I'm going to drop a video on that tomorrow. But to keep yourself sane during the holidays, sometimes you have to self-medicate. You have to buy yourself a gift. Even if you know you're going to get a lot of gifts, and as long as everyone else is taken care of first, it's fine if you see something that you've really wanted and you know nobody's going to get you. Like, it's absolutely fine. 5K subs, making a living. Can I quit the day job? Oh, my day job's all quit me a long time ago, Bob. I mean, I could, if I was just somehow cut loose from the rest of the world, there's no way I could make a living at this right now. This would not keep me in a homeless shelter. That's not a complaint. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. Maybe multiply that times 10, maybe. And I get up to where, 1-bedroom apartment in a bad part of town, multiply it by 100, decentish apartment in a mid part of town. You see where I'm going with it? Thank you, Bob. I'd love to see it. But when am I going to do another board game? Robert asks. Well, that brings us to an interesting point. I was talking to Don McVitie last night. Well, it was really this morning, insanely early this morning, insanely late last night. I have to start thinking about GWOC, Great Underground Online Gaming Convention 3. Because if I'm going to do that in April, guys, that's like right there. You know how back in September I was saying, Christmas is just right there, and people are probably rolling their eyes? Well, we're here now, like that. April is not that far off, so I got to start thinking about GWOC. Hey, Alan Canning. And so if you're wondering what I'm talking about, the Great Underground Online Gaming Convention is a virtual gaming convention. It'll be the third year we do it. We'll be hosting some online games. I'll have everything set up on Warhorn. You can sign up for games. Sign up to host games, please. It'll all be on Discord, virtual die rollers, the works. We're going to have an artist alley. We're going to have probably a prize drawing of some kind for attendees to potentially win stuff. One person has claimed all of the stuff. I sent out emails to every winner last year, and one person has claimed their stuff. And I still have stacks of books and everything. So, Oh, that's great. That's great, Bob. But yeah, no, it's coming fast. It's coming fast. And good news is Hellebard Games will be doing prize ticket giveaways. So you'll be able to get Hellebard products from drive-thru or directly from their store. I don't know how it's going to be. I don't know how it's going to be, but I'm looking forward to that. You'll cover the shipping for my book. For my book? What book? Oh, books. I was talking about buying gifts for yourself at the holidays to stay sane and self-medicated, and I got completely distracted. Oh, yeah, Vincent, I'm sorry. Yeah, okay, reach out to me, email Vincent. It's right down there at the bottom. And we'll get that set up. So there's two out of the like 36 people or whatever I drew. So I bought myself one. I bought myself a book from Amazon, and it is called Faster Pussycat Kill Kill Kill. It has nothing to do with the Russ Meyer. Well, it has more to do with the Russ Meyer film than it has to do with the hair metal band. But it is 3 Japanese illustrators, Hajime Soriyama, Jelly Bean. I can't remember what the other person's name is. It's like Jelly Bean something or the other. And then I can't remember the third artist's name. I don't know that I can even show you the cover of the book. I was like, when I get these, maybe I can do reviews. They're naughty. They're very naughty. But that's okay. I don't know yet, Michael Dale. So this is usually kind of the point in the show when I meandered and I've forgotten what I'm talking about, and then I come back to what I was thinking of, where I say, hey, we've got a miniature up, and we didn't have one last week, and we don't have one this week, sort of. We don't have one this week, sort of. I have a miniature to show you, but it's not painted. Yeah, right. There you go, Mark. That's the ticket. And so I'm going to show you guys the mini, and I'm thinking Thursday night, I might do a paint stream. I might just do a chill out and paint stream. What do you guys think of that? I'll set up a couple of webcams. I'm not going to worry about this thing. I'll have some lighting, and I'll just do a painting. And I'll show you guys what I'm going to paint tonight. So let me do this here. Let me put it in the right place. It is Christmas themed, by the way, the miniature, and I've had it for a long time. I've been meaning to paint it. Boom, Flyer, greetings, good evening to you. So let me see if this will focus in. And she is completely upside down. I didn't realize she would be. That is the 2002 Reaper Miniatures Christmas Sophie. I have had her sitting around since she was new. I've literally had that thing since the turn of the century, decade, millennium. Work on them hirelings, yeah. So there's kind of your miniature Monday. And I'm going to paint her up. I'm going to paint her up this holiday season. I tell myself I'm going to do that every year, and I don't. But now you guys have seen it, and now I have to get it done. Now I have to get it done. So I may do it on camera. I may just do it in the in-between. We'll have to see. You guys will have to see. You're welcome. Wave, you'll have to tell me, Wave, did it speed up properly. So let's see. Miniature I'm going to paint. Book I can't show you. What else? Oh, okay. So as we are getting closer to the holidays, it is 3 weeks to Christmas Day. And no, I'm not streaming it all Christmas Day. What I will do consistently every day between now and the end of the Christmas Advent is we have the Dudragao Christmas Dice Advent Calendar, and I hope you guys are watching those videos. They're very short, and it's like, this is not the this is last year's Advent Calendar box from them. And the missus got me one this year also. So I've been unboxing that, and I hope you guys are watching that. Thank you, Boone. I rather like it myself. So yeah, so that is what I'm doing every day. Now, last week I dropped a video on a topic, and that's the RP. Some of the RPG news we're going to talk about tonight. I know some of you guys don't watch my interstitial videos. Some of you guys don't watch the live streams, and I don't know why I'm bringing you up, because if you don't watch the live streams, you're not here, and you won't be. But anyway, some folks don't watch the some folks don't watch the videos at all, and they aren't subscribed to the channel, and that just breaks my heart. But late last week, it was actually announced on the 30th at PAX, which is the Penny Arcade Exposition. It's the Penny Arcade cartoon or web comic that came out like in the 90s. They're like media influencers now, video games, movies, all kinds of stuff. They have a con. They have a gaming con, a tabletop gaming con. And it's a spin-off of the Penny Arcade Expo, because Penny Arcade Expo is video games. And people would say, hey, can we do tabletop gaming at your con? And they had so many people that they spun it off into its own thing. Well, Wizards of the Coast was at that, and they announced that in June of 2024, they are releasing a tome probably size-wise bigger than Art and Arcana here, that will contain in its entirety, inside, it will contain all of original D&D. Now, one of those putzes from Wizards of the Coast was talking about this. He said, you can follow along the same journey that I had, looking at original D&D, wondering, how is this a game? And I just... disrespectful. Anyway, we're sellouts magnificent? I hope. There's a difference between selling out and cashing in. But anyway, so I mean, at 500 pages, hardback, contains OD&D. I imagine it's going to be boutique price. Oh yeah, no, Penny Arcade are huge sellouts. They're enormous. I used to think those guys were the funniest freaking thing. They got me through my IT job, like Fridays or whenever their strips came out. It was good stuff, but man, oh man. But yeah, so Wizards of the Coast, they're re-releasing OD&D in June. Now, I had said all year long that with their constant screw-ups starting in January, there was no way they were going to be able to get anything in for the 50th anniversary of OD&D, that they would likely try and bury it and just say, oh, 50 years of our creation, and then just kind of move on. And I still stick by that. Okay. I still stick by that because I still think that you're gonna get, like, you open the book, rules, commentary, you flip it over, rules, commentary. It's not going to be an easy to reference playable OD&D set. There are better ways to get original Dungeons and Dragons than this. I'm interested to see what it looks like, and I could be wrong, but I just feel like it's going to not be this huge boon. Will I buy it to review? Absolutely. Absolutely. And as far as I don't want to give my Wizards of the Coast my money, I do want to give my FLGS money. I do want to give Todd and Anna money. And that's what I view it as. All right, that's what I view it as. I am sure a completely awful person worked on your car. What secrets does the bag boy at your grocery have? You know, that's there's I would suspect a lot of that, Magnificent Devil. There's a, you know, there's a level of separation you have to have, or else you'll wind up returning to monkey, right? You know, just sitting on leaves in the woods, rocking back and forth, muttering that you think Uncle Ted was right. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to order it directly from WotC. But I do think that's going to be, you know, the descending point is what Magnificent Devil is. There's probably going to be a lot of that. And they're probably going to cherry pick a bunch of stuff. But it will also contain letters between Gygax and Arneson, which is really cool. I think it's really cool. But it's interesting. It's not a hugely controversial thing. Like I didn't have the same weekend that Goodman Games had. Let me just say that. But it was interesting, the negativity surrounding the announcement. And I get it, right? You guys know me. I'm no Bob the Builder. I'm not going to kiss Wizard's ass. My most viewed video, or second most viewed video, was me flipping out last January or February about that leaked letter to influencers. You guys know how I feel about Wizards of the Coast. But I've also said, hey, local Gumby, I've also said reward good behavior. Now, I do also have heard, and I'm going to talk about this tomorrow, Lost Caverns of SojConf is supposed to be re-released. And you guys know how I feel about Lost Caverns of SojConf too, how much I love that. Oh yeah, the Goodman Games thing. I'm not going to talk about it other than to say, wow, and never apologize. And then we're going to move on. So this is, I was talking to, like I said earlier, I was talking to Don at Hellebard about what we're going to do for Guac. But we're also, you know, I've got a lot of stuff to think about. Heidi Gygax and Eric Garland are going to attend Guac. Are they going to run games? Do they want to just do a live stream? I don't know yet. I've got to coordinate that. I'll be running stuff. Somebody asked me earlier in the streams, when is another board game like Dungeon going to be demoed on the show. And when I was moving my Space Hulk boxes around, I was thinking, I ought to do another Space Hulk demo, even if it is self-unalive mission. Dirty History and Hobbies, greetings. That's a spicy opinion, Magnificent Devil. I'm not saying I disagree with it. But, yeah, no, we'll be... I was thinking about that because I do have a lot of board games up there. I mean, I'd like to demo the Dungeons and Dragons Electronic Labyrinth. Tracy Lesh has one. He bought himself one. And maybe he and I can play head-to-head or something. I don't know. Honestly, don't know. But we will play. I've got a lot of stuff that I'm going to be deep diving in 2024. There's going to be some changes up in 2024. Warhammer Quest, if I had it, I would. And I've got Hero Quest, and Hero Quest is the best game in the world. We could do a Hero Quest demo. You just don't know. You just don't know what I'm going to bring. Somebody was telling me to finish painting the hirelings, the henchmen. I should probably seek to do that. I should probably seek to do that. Watching of the Dragon Strike VHS. That's tempting. Like an MST3K style roasting of it. That's tempting. But I mean, that's like a whole film, right? That's a get beaten up on thing. Yes, 3D printing. The 3D printing channel is coming, and that's going to keep me busy. So all in all, I've got a pretty busy, a pretty darn busy 2024 ahead of me. I've been thinking hard about getting back into sports live streaming, even if I'm just by my lonesome doing an Alabama football live stream one night a week. But I don't know. I don't want to stretch myself too terribly thin. So tomorrow night, the week ahead, let's talk about the week ahead. Tomorrow night, Let's Play First Edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons is back. We got a good group. We just finished the Keep on the Borderlands. Who knows what modules are next? Or if indeed they be modules at all. Maybe it'll all be from up here in my noggin. Wednesday night, Kyle is in charge. I don't know if we're at a break point in his campaign. I'll have a talk with him. Thursday night is open. I am leaning hard into Thursday being paint up a mini for you guys. Friday night, we're back to Gamma World. I'm not about to sign off. We got another half an hour, Dungeon Minister. We got a half an hour. You relax. Let's see. So that's the week ahead. Now, the following week, we are 2 weeks out from Christmas. Is that right? Let me see. So today's the 4th. 1, 2. Yeah. The following week, we're 2 weeks out from Christmas. I may have a normal week next week and then take the week before Christmas and the week of Christmas off. Or I may start breaking maneuvers over the weekend and do just kind of ratchet things down. I don't know yet. Yeah, Dungeon Minister. Have I ever followed a plan on this show? I have not, unless I have guests on. If you've been missing guests, if you've been missing guest streams on Thursday, I did. Bob was my last one. I think Bob was Bob my last one? I think. Anyway, no, it was Jack. So no, I'm putting up my tree tomorrow, Michael. We're putting up the tree tomorrow. But anyway, so guests will be returning in 2024. People you've seen before, people you haven't seen before. So that's what we'll be doing. That's a lot of what we'll be doing. 2024, like I said, going to be 2 channels minimum. Because the printing and minis, I came up with a beautiful idea for a video today for the 3D printing channel that I'm like, I should just film that now. I can film that now, but I'm just too busy. I don't know, Christopher. I don't know. I just glanced up and saw that from Dungeon Minister. One thing's for sure. I gotta see. I gotta check this. Let me see here. Let's go to January 2024. My birthday is on a Tuesday. We're not playing AD&D that night. We're not playing anything that night. We are the 23rd is the birthday show, my birthday show. And it's just going to be me. I mean, if people want to come on as guests to say happy birthday to me, that's fine. But there ain't going to be no agenda except me celebrating my birthday. I was on last Christmas Eve, yeah. I mean, it'll be a Sunday. I'm not going to say I won't. But if I do, it's going to be because everything is done already. Because there's some Christmas Eves when I'm like, oh, thank God it's all done, and my wife will come out to the office, or I'll be sitting on the couch watching a Christmas special or something, and she's like, we have to wrap presents for the girls. Son of a... So we do that. Can't play anything? Nah. Pin the beer in the Delver. How about that? We can do that. Oh, local, you're coming to Florida. I'll hunker down. But one of the first guests we are going to have in 2024 is Thane Kyle. He wants to come on and he wants to talk about his show. So he's got a great little channel, D and Disabilities. Check it out right here on YouTube. You definitely should. I'm gonna step up my game too about giving good good ups to people here. Is people like this? My mind was slightly blown at GaryCon last year, because by the time I went to GaryCon, I had like around, I don't know, 3,400 subs, something like that, maybe less. And I was actually kind of surprised. It wasn't a lot of people, but there were a few people who said, "Oh my gosh, you're the Dungeon Delver." And one of them was Vile Necromancer, whom, by the way, I spoke to on Discord. He hopes to return to YouTube soon. So please keep Vile Necromancer in your thoughts. He's had his ups and downs. So hopefully things are going to settle out for him. And we will be seeing him again soon. But no, people have said to me recently, and I'm not doing this to boost up my own ego or anything, but just to mention this because of the unique opportunity that I feel that I have. But people have said, well, no, Bill, people listen to you. You're a voice. It's they look to you and so on. And no one has ever said influencer. But if I can help other folks in the TTRPG space who are creating, whether they're doing stuff on YouTube, doing stuff in print, whatever they're doing, I'm glad to. Because I've said before, a rising tide lifts all boats. And let me tell you what, I had a positive experience just last night. Now, I have made no secret of the fact that I am an Alabama Crimson Tide football fan. Always have been, always will be, won't change. Hey, if your team's in another conference and you guys are just trying to get off a win so you get into a bowl game that you won't be playing against the Crimson Tide in, and you're like, hey, Bill, could you root for the Montana Miners, which I think is actually a team in the Big Sky? Sure, absolutely. Let's sit down. Let's watch the game. But man, you get into the SEC, you start getting on the Power 5 teams stage. Crimson Tide. Crimson Tide. Crimson Tide. Crimson Tide. Where are the images I use for my thumbnails from? Necromancy for Kids wants to know. Hang tight for just a second, Necromancy. I'm gonna put a star on that. Come back to you. Yeah, so the game that Alabama just played was the conference championship. Who's the best team in all of the Southeastern Conference? I do root for Alabama, Dungeon Minister. Thank you for asking. There you go, Mark. Absolutely. Who dat? Who dey? Crimson Tide is a plagues of Egypt. Well, the way Nick Saban coaches that team, they are creeping death. So anyway, and there's a YouTuber who, now college ball is very different from pro ball in how the TV rights work. If I tried to put together a best of the Philadelphia Eagles Sunday, December 3rd, 2023 video, as soon as I put it up on YouTube, it would get taken down by YouTube. The NFL would strike it. They have bots. They would strike, just immediate strike. Based on sound, based on name, all the contacts just shook, gone. They would crush it. College football is not metered that way. So there's channels that will put together compilations of the best plays of a given game. And one of them, this young man, the channel's called Is All Good, IZALLGOOD. He was doing a live premiere of a commercial and timeout less playback of that championship game against Georgia. And so I got in and I started watching it, and I'm just chit-chatting with him, and I'm like, thank you so much, dude. Thank you for doing this. And the dude has like 50,000 subs, maybe more, and he never gotten a super. He'd never done anything live, and he never gotten a super. And so I have been so blessed in 2023. I was like, you're doing a great job. It's awesome watching the game with people. I wasn't at the game, but here we are, a crowd. We're cheering on our Tide. We know how it's going to win, but we're still enjoying it. So I give him a super, and he was over the moon. And so, we're chit-chatting back and forth in the chat, and he's like, I'm going to subscribe to your channel. I was like, it's incredibly nerdy. It's just nerd stuff. And he's like, yeah, that's fine, man. You just have, and he was being very, 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 very supportive. I was like, yeah, I got 5,100 subs, 5,120, something like that. He's like, man, keep plugging at it. Looks like you got good stuff over there. Just keep going. And he subscribed to my channel. And by the end of that, I looked up, may have been people from that stream. I know one of them at least was him. But I had like 5 or 6 more subscriptions. The point is not listen to my subscriptions and how awesome I am. The point is we lift each other up in the TTRPG space. A rising tide lifts all boats. Right now, if you're watching this live stream and you haven't already subscribed, go subscribe to Dungeon Minister's channel. Do it right this second. Do it. Go subscribe. The Dungeon Minister on YouTube, subscribe to his channel. And I know a bunch of you guys are going to say, oh, I'm already subscribed. Not to say that because it doesn't do anything. If you haven't subscribed to Dungeon Minister's channel, open another tab and subscribe to Dungeon Minister's channel. Why? Because he's got great content. D and Disability has great content. Vile Necromancer has great content. Squirrel Hermit has great content. RPG Grandma has great content. If you're not watching these small channels, guys, you are missing out. You're missing out. We bitch about regurgitated crap from Netflix and Amazon. It's like, oh my God, I can't believe, we're Rings of Power. It's so awful. Between myself, Dungeon Minister, and all the people I just mentioned, we could make a streaming channel that was just D&D. Just classic D&D. Hey, 8 to 10, 5 nights a week. It's the Bill Sylvie Show live, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7:30. Come sit down for, coffee and positive tabletop vibes with the Dungeon Mister. We could fill 24 hours a day with material with the guys from here. And the way you get that degree of stuff, okay? Now, it's very easy to get black-pilled about the way things are right now in the world. But honestly, that, pointing to an Ethernet cable, is like it's never been before. I mean, when we were kids, those of us in this age group, Dungeon Minister, and many more of you, do you remember playing TV or movie I got a whole TV station in a box, a camera. I got my own TV show. That's pretty awesome. And to get this and to keep this going, you know, just shut out external factors for a second. Oh, YouTube sucks, and oh, you know, blah, blah, blah. To get it to keep this going, subscribe. Go check out these people's content. Tell them how much you enjoy it. Subscribe. I mentioned at the beginning of the show, I got a new polarization filter on that camera. This widescreen view we've got is a lens on that camera. That camera came from an investor. These lights, you guys paid for this. This camera boom, or rather this mic boom, these headphones. Now, the mic I bought myself years ago. But I mean, the money for this monitor and this monitor itself were donations. So was the PC I'm streaming on. Every little bit you guys do helps. Every subscription. Don't think that if you see, oh, Bill's got 5,030, Dungeon Minister's got almost 2,000, so on. Every little bit helps. Every little bit helps. So no matter what you might think, it really does. And you know, I give you guys the show. I give you guys as much content as I can. Once a month for patrons and YouTube memberships, which, by the way, if you want to support the show on Patreon, it's right down there. If you want to support us through YouTube memberships, it's either over here or over here. I'm not sure which side of the YouTube thing it's on. You know, at the $10 level, I send you guys a little short AD&D adventure every month. I do my level best to give back to you guys, and you guys seem to love it, and I enjoy the hell out of it. What seeing the positive feedback from you guys. Gotta have a giveaway when. How much for your daughters? The little girl. Your women. I want to buy them. His second Blues Brothers reference tonight, Padre. And I appreciate it, Dirty History and Hobbies. I really do. Yeah, so young Paul Rubens in that scene. That wasn't him, but the one waiter's like, wrong glass, sir. Wrong glass, sir. Just waves the water glass at him to fill it up with champagne. Oh, my God. Oh, Michael, thank you so much. That was so incredibly generous. Michael, thank you. Thank you. Wow. Wow. Oh, man. Whew. Well, I'll tell you, Michael, the way YouTube pays out, that's actually a birthday present. I will get that 2 days before my birthday. Well, $70 of it. Yeah, that was a 70-yarder right into the bread basket, the breast basket. Thank you. Thank you so much, Michael Dale. I greatly appreciate that. Bless you. Best show on the internet. Well, I try. You know. And I haven't even shown you guys an inch of skin, but well, now I'm kind of obligated to, so let me just wow. Thank you, Michael. I really, that's incredible, dude. Okay, who'll match him? Just kidding. I'm just teasing. Yes, unregistered. My face has skin and human organs are present in me, and absolutely no alien biology whatsoever. Why would you ask that? Lightmane, hello, how are you? Good to see you. Tell you more about the breast basket. You'll have to ask your parents about that one. Derek Mann. He's Derek Mann. It reminds me, somebody like took a cell phone picture of their TV screen somewhere out in the Midwest or in the West, because one of the town names on the weather radar, they were showing like the weather radar weather report. One of the towns was called Humansville. They put a caption under the yes, welcome to Humansville, where we have fine dining establishments like restaurant, and we have a human church and school, and no tentacles whatsoever. What's my Xanth magic power? Oh, this one's easy, Robert Phillips. Remember, now I haven't read but like 1 and 1/27th of a Piers Anthony book. On a Pale Horse, and then I started reading Being a Green Mother because Michael Whelan did a really cool cover for it. And then I was like, let's put that back on the shelf. Al Ian, yes. Al Ian. But in one of those two books, a dude wished for the ability to find money or something. And so this little glowing orb would appear next to him, and it's like drifting around his awful little bedroom, and it finally lands on the floor. And he hurriedly goes over there, and he realizes that jammed between the floorboards, the wooden floorboards, there's a penny. It's like he never specified. So that's my Xanth magic power. And I'm going to explain that in actual in actual real life. And Dungeon Minister, who I think I've told this story to, is going to laugh. He's going to laugh so hard about this. Now, I have been exceptionally fortunate in the find rare D&D books places department. I have no reason whatsoever to even slightly raise my voice in protest when I see people post up on Twitter or in the forums at the Okium or on Facebook that, yeah, I went to an estate sale and they didn't know what they had, and I bought a Wood Grain OD&D set and a Lost Caverns of Soge conf from WinterCon, which I've seen, by the way, on the Okium. And it was a library book, and I was in the community college library between classes, Derek. So I didn't pay for it. But anyway, so I this is not a woe is me story. But I thought, how cool would it be? I just had some free time on my hands one day. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go to the local Goodwill. I'm gonna dig through the bookshelf. I'm gonna take nitrile gloves because cat pee crystals make my hands swell up. And I'm gonna look through and I'm gonna see if I can find any D&D books. And I pulled up and I said, Lord, please let there be just something there that I could flip, help make ends meet a little bit. Please let there be a D&D book there. Completely forgetting the admonition about don't petition the Lord in your prayers like that. So I go in. And I go up to the bookshelf. And I'm looking. You won't find D&D books at Salvation Army. I don't know if they still do, but I knew someone who volunteered for them, and they said, and at the time, in I don't know, the 90s or early 2000s, whenever they said they did destroy them. So I'm going on and I'm carefully looking at the paperback books. Books are not organized in Salvation Army. You're going to get a Rush Limbaugh book, a microwave cookbook from the 1970s, a Chilton's manual for an AMC Eagle, a Robert Ludlum, one of those books by Tom Clancy, like Net Force Cyberstorm or whatever it is, all just kind of crammed together like that. So I'm in the Goodwill and I'm looking through. And again, never let it be said that the good Lord does not have a sense of humor. I meticulously looked through all the books, probably like a maniac with my blue nitrile gloves on, looking between things. And I found a D&D book. It was a either Dark Sun or Maztica novel, like a novel set in one of those settings by somebody I'd never heard of. And I'm standing and I'm holding it, and I put it back on the shelf. I just looked up. I get it. And I just tipped my hat and slowly rode away. I just, okay. All right. You got me. I didn't specify. And I'm sure he's sitting up there going, do you know how much stuff just TSR alone put out, Bill? I can't keep up with all that. And I created the entire universe. So that is a perfect example of that is my Xanth magic power, right? I want to find a D&D book. Whoop. I want to find I want to find money. Penny jammed in the floorboard. Exactly, Dungeon Minister. Exactly. You feel free to use my story in a sermon if it ever is du jour. Now, I have lucked out. I have found a lot of stuff. I mean, more unexpurgated deities and demigods than I can shake a stick at have been given to me for free. Cheap modules, stuff like that. I know I made someone's day way back around like 2005. I took an entire duplicate stack of a bunch of both heavy gear and Dungeons and Dragons modules to a local used bookstore. And somebody was probably just bouncing off walls. This is before collecting went absolutely bonkers, because Gary was still alive. Dave Arneson was still alive. But no, I mean, when I think about like the Todd and Anna windfall of a couple of weeks ago, I have no latitude to say, oh man, I never get any cool stuff just a random fall into my lap. There's probably plenty of you guys who've been like, I never. And when I first started trying to collect 1E, there was one person. There was one person, I think, who was riding the wave ahead of the game. This was in the 90s. And I started looking, and that, it was Alta Vista. Alta Vista was my search engine, and Usenet. I did get AD&D books eventually, but when I first started looking, I called around comic book stores, and a Coliseum of Comics here in the Orlando area had on a shelf in shrink a First Ed Dungeon Master's Guide, and I said, how much do you want for it? Like, $75. I was like, are you kidding me? Nope. I'm looking at it right now. If you want to come and get it, you can come and get it. How many campaign settings did D&D have? That's a wow. Published. Blackmoor was the first published campaign setting and adventure module. It was not Greyhawk. Supplement 1 Greyhawk covers nothing of the actual Greyhawk setting other than spells, magic items, and monsters, and rules expansions. There's no descriptions of anything of note. So Blackmoor, Mystara, Hollow World, Greyhawk, Blackmoor, Mystara, Hollow World, Greyhawk, Maztica, Alkadim, Birthright, Dark Sun. I'm going to count Lankmar. The Conan modules were ostensibly set in Hyboria. Of course, Dragonlance, Forgotten Realms, that's 12. Spelljammer's 13. Oh my gosh. Although my first search engine, you guys are talking about search engines, was actually Archie, in which you emailed a server that would then crawl over the web looking for your data, and 99 times out of 100 would return that it couldn't find anything. Eberron. I'm just thinking 1 and 2E, Vaughn. So that's 13. Yeah, Planescape, CSIO. So that's 14, 15. Did they do their own Ravenloft setting? See, I thought Ravenloft got stuck in Forgotten Realms initially. and they didn't break it out until 3rd edition. But if that's not the case, then Ravenloft is 16. Full setting in the mid-90s. Okay, then that's 16. Watsy is turning Forgotten Realms into some unholy overstuffed turducken. Nice. I don't care about Dark Sun. Was late enough in the game that I didn't really pay it any mind. I was getting out of D&D when Dark Sun was starting to roll in, and I wouldn't get back into D&D until the sun had started to set, and my interests were in going back to immediately where I was. So hence Dragonlance and Forgotten Realms and yada yada, everything else just kind of got skipped over. So I feel like that is that's just about all I got for you guys this evening. I almost feel bad that Michael has supered $100, and usually I like to let those things expire, but we'd be sitting here another 3 hours. I've heard of that guy, Lightmane. I've heard of been playing the same campaign for 40 years. I mean, I've been doing mine, which I have to get to here in a very short amount of time, for a decade. That's got to count for something, right? But no, I think that's cool. I think that's great, Lightmane, that he's had it going for over 40 years. Mine won't last 40 years because I won't last another 40 years, but that's life. But hopefully it'll last a long time. Oh, thumbnails. Thank you, Necromancy. Thumbnails. All the latest thumbnails I'm just generating, I'm just spinning up with AI because they're just disposable, because I got to move on subjects immediately. So it's not, I don't disrespect actual artists. I vastly prefer actual artists. But for something that for most people is literally going to be a thing that they click on and then they move on, it's just a bright picture to catch their eye and then move on. I would never oh, Bill, you should publish a book of your thumbnails. Well, no, I won't, because that's AI art and I'm not going to do that. So I hope that answers your questions, Necromancy for Kids, and I hope it doesn't disappoint you in me. Yeah, the last time I checked this, which would have been last Friday night, we're at 5,091 subs. And as of right now, we're at 5,120. Yeah, I wouldn't use AI art for quote unquote sold material that I was putting out in mass market. I just would not. Yeah, I remember when I still have the first ever issue of Wired magazine, like a physical copy of it. And I was so hyped. Yeah, this is really going to be great. This is awesome. And in short, it just became, it was Time magazine for people who had the money to burn on Silicon graphics workstations. Oh, what's your next PC going to be? Well, I'm hoping to scrape together enough money to get a monitor for my Commodore 128, and then in a couple of years, I can buy myself that Amiga I want. Oh, well, I have an SGI Indigo, so yes. Oh, very nice for you. When does YouTube send me an award? Never. I will never get a thing from YouTube. Was talking about my channel my campaign lasting 40 more years. At the rate of growth that I currently have, to get 100,000 subscribers, to get a play button from them, would take another 40 years. So I will never get an award from them. Nope. Good night, Christopher. Be well. Alan Canning, any info on mine and Tracy's project? No. I mean, I could give you some, but I'm not gonna. You'll just have to wait and see. You'll just have to wait and see. You'll just have to wait and see. Doo-da, doo-da. I'll get an award from YouTube by mistake. They all meant to send it to Dungeon Delvers. Yeah, something like that. Sorry, Alan, but it's coming in 2024. You guys are just going to have to wait. I got called a pussy for how I'm making it, by the way. The person was very well-meaning. He was ribbing me. We were laughing about it. So, well, you're going to do it like that. I think that's a good idea, but I also think you're a pussy for doing it that way. So we had a good laugh. Oh, yeah, the intergraphs. Yeah. I did. That was when I got 1,000 subs. Or right shortly thereafter, I drew on a piece of paper my YouTube a play button and review. For 30 minutes, I teased you guys about, it's pretty, I should wait. I just kind of went back and forth, and then finally said, okay. I got a play button from YouTube, and then it was drawn on a piece of paper. Good night, Mark Morrison. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up, guys. I'm pretty tired. Listen, oh, wait, there's a question in the queue. Oh, yeah, that's necromancy. Got me. Michael Dale, God bless you. Thank you so much for that super. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, for being here this evening. Of course, it is, it is the hibernation, nearing hibernation and mating season for these creatures. So please, when you're going around out there, be careful and keep your eyes peeled for owl bears. Good night. I'll see you tomorrow night. Love you all. Peace.
Have you seen my owl bear? Here's to all the weirdos everywhere, in the woods and in the air. Have you seen my owl bear? Should I shave off all my hair? Bobs are all around. Some live in tunnels underground. Some are fat, some are rich, some are sleeping in a ditch. Can you ride a crooked horse without a saddle, way off course? Naked as a toad, all the way to Smoky Joe's. Have you seen the little creep driving fast in his little green Jeep? He smells like fish and brandy, but his rotten teeth look dandy. Take me to the show, I don't care if fast or slow. From action flicks to dancing dicks, just take me to the show.